What do you know? It's another OOTD. And you will also notice, once again, we are wearing a dress. I like wearing dresses and skirts, you guys. That's just the way it is. This dress is really, really gorgeous. It's from a brand called Noa Noa. And the interesting story about this dress is that I bought it when I was pregnant and I was looking forward to fitting back into normal clothes. So I'm going to pair this gorgeous dress with this necklace and the earrings that go with it. It's a little set because the dress has a beautiful V neckline. I'm going to wear this beautiful silver ring, which was made by my uncle again. I'm going to pair it with a blue watch, because why not? And since we're sticking with the theme, let's take my son's favorite perfume, which is Daisy Dream from Marc Jacobs. The reason it's his favorite perfume is because every time he goes into my drawer, this is the first perfume he grabs. And there you have the outfit in its full glory. Really love this dress. It's very comfortable. It's a nice length for this time of the year. And look at that beautiful, sexy little cleavage we got going on here. And top 10, you guys! At number 10 we have the beautiful Dark Star palette from Opulence 2018 collection, which contains these gorgeous colors. This is my favorite from the 3/6 pans that came out that year for the holidays. Oh, of course, one of the reasons for that is this gorgeous duochrome shade, which we are going to use today. It's a beautiful, like, purple blue shifter. I really love the black shade in this palette. I love the grey shade in this palette. I adore Enrapture, which is this gold. The only shade that doesn't really tickle my pickle is this beigey champagne one, but I bet it would be beautiful if I just put the effort to get to know it a little bit better, which I haven't. Anywho, for today's look, I want to actually pair these shades together because I think they would look really beautiful, especially paired with my dress, because my dress sort of contains these two details, like this beautiful, like, blackened plum and blue. Just FYI, normally when I use this shade, I actually go in this trifecta over here. So I start off with the grey, I deepen with the black, and then I put the blue. However, since we're going to be doing this shade today, and this shade leans a little bit too warm to be paired with the grey and really doesn't fit, I'm going to have to pull out another eyeshadow. Yes, you guessed it, we are going to go in with the statuesque first in order to blend out the crease and then lay down that purple shade, that deep plum shade in my outer corner and like lash area. Now for today's story time, I was thinking, actually for this whole month of October, since Nicola was born in the end of October, I figured maybe some of you would find it interesting if I shared a little bit of my experience of being pregnant, my baby delivery story, and my first few weeks after Nicola was born, especially the first week, because that was fucking traumatic, let me tell you that. But I'm gonna come back to that in another video. I think today I'm just going to tell you the kind of funny story of how I found out that I was pregnant, because that's a funny story. So it is the year of the Lord 2018. It's January, and at that point hubby and I had been trying for like a good 1.5 years. I'm really open about that. If you are to trust movies with teenagers who get pregnant pretty much at the blink of an eye with each other, or like just by holding hands, then you probably have the wrong expectations of how long it may take to get pregnant. Let me tell you, the window of opportunity is relatively short, especially when you have two adults who work really hard and don't really have time to bang like rabbits anymore. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, at that point we had already been trying for like about 1.5 years, and in the Netherlands, if you don't conceive naturally within 1 year, you are allowed to, you know, call your your general practitioner, make an appointment and discuss the possibility of maybe getting tested to see, just to see if everyone's parts are working properly. And we were actually reaching already that point. My husband and I were already talking about just calling and, you know, getting it over with, because at that point I think we were both quite worried that something is wrong with one of us, or potentially both of us, who knows. So we decided as a last attempt that we're just really going to make sure this time that we time everything properly one last time before we call the doctor. I am now going to be taking a somewhat denser smudger type of brush and go into the purple shade and start smudging it onto my lash line and a little bit into my outer corner to blend with statuesque. So it is a Friday afternoon, end of January. I am taking a coffee with the girls at work. It is late in the afternoon, everyone's in a good mood because the weekend is imminent, and we are standing in line to get a coffee, and then one of my colleagues, who by the way is about the same age as me, recently got married, you know, both of us are first in line to get babies. And then she says, I'm actually not going to take a coffee, I don't feel like a coffee today, I think I'm just going to take tea. Yours truly here decides to make jokes with her. And I go, why are you not taking coffee? Are you maybe pregnant? And I say it really like a joke. And then she looks at me and she says, I don't know. And then everyone's like, what do you mean you don't know? And then she tells us that she has been like experiencing some mild symptoms, but she hasn't really taken a test yet. So then two of my other colleagues who are also with us, who are already moms, decide to share their stories of how they found out that they were pregnant. And then they tell stories, and then one of them says something in the lines of, yeah, with my second one, actually, I thought that I was getting my period, because I got a little bit of spotting, and then nothing happened within a few days, and then I took a test, because, you know, that spotting can be a sign of the embryo attaching to the uterine wall. I'm taking my brush and just gently going around the edges. And as she tells that, I go, what? Please tell that story again, because it sounds very familiar. So that same week, like I said, I had been waiting for my period. And I had a little bit of spotting, and then for a few days nothing was happening. And that is very unusual, that never really happens to me. I'm quite clockwork. Like, it takes sometimes a day, max two, for things to get going, but it's never been like I get a few drops and then nothing. And then my colleague tells that story, and all of a sudden I get this like, oh my god. So then I told my colleagues that I might have to pee on a stick at home. So then I went home, and I'm not the type of person that can like keep these kind of things in for a very long time. And then I ran immediately to my husband, and I was like, I think I need to pee on a stick. And then he looked at me, and like we exchanged this look of like, oh, is it really happening? Because like, of course, we wanted it to happen. We had been, you know, working for it to happen. But like when you're faced with the possibility that it might actually be happening, it's a little bit scary, let me tell you. I was like, okay, what should we do? Should we already do the test this evening, or should we just wait a little bit? I'm taking my glitter glue, by the way, before I apply the blue shade. So then, I don't really know. I think probably we were both just too scared to find out immediately, because it would have been just too overwhelming. I think we both needed for the thought to sort of sink in before we actually take the test. And I could have done the test pretty much immediately, but like I said, I think we just both needed a minute to let everything sink in before I actually go ahead and pee on a stick. So we decided that I'm not going to pee on a stick that evening, and I'm going to just try it in the morning, just to see if in the meantime I don't get my period. I'm taking my finger, by the way, and going into the gorgeous blue shade. We waited, and then in the morning I took the test, and of course it was like super positive. Like, I dipped the stick and it immediately became really, really positive. So of course I told my husband that the test is positive, and yeah, we were both surprised, scared, excited. We of course shared with our families immediately. Actually, I'm not sure, did we do that immediately? No, I think we went to the pharmacy to get one of those more precise tests that can tell you whether you're like very early on or you're a bit further on, because the test can basically tell you whether you are like 2-3 weeks pregnant or 4 or 5+ weeks pregnant. So we decided to get one of those tests to get at least a bit of an idea of how far along we are. And to be honest with you, I think we both just needed a reaffirmation that it's really happening. So we did that test was positive as well, and it indicated that we are like around 3 weeks, which, let me tell you, the way they count the weeks of pregnancy is exceptionally confusing if you are not pregnant. So basically the way they count it is from the start of your cycle. So technically you have those 2 weeks in the beginning of your cycle when you're not yet pregnant, but they're counted towards your pregnancy because they are the beginning of the cycle. It's really confusing. So let's say technically the baby's only been there for like 2 weeks, but then the indication on your pregnancy test says 4 weeks. It's incredibly confusing. Anyhow, so I think I was around like maybe like 3-4 weeks or something like that. It was relatively early on. By the way, I'm deepening again with the purple shade. And of course, once we had the confirmation, we had to call our parents. Everyone was exceptionally excited. My mom's reaction was really hilarious because we called my husband's parents, they were super excited, and then we called my parents, and then I dropped the news, and my mom literally went like, "I'll call you back in 5 minutes, okay?" She really had to like process the information before she could respond. I think this is the first time I've seen my mom not being able to respond to anything. It was really funny. I think she was mostly really shocked because she told me after that that she had sort of like given up on the idea that she's going to be a grandma anytime soon, because she thought we had decided to focus on our careers. Like, our parents are not like the meddling and pushing types. We knew that they really wanted to be grandparents, but at no point were they, you know, asking if we are busy with it. You know, they were not the type of parents that would interfere too much in the process. I'm also going to run that purple shade here in the outer part of my outer lower lash line, just to connect with the upper lash line. So guys, that was pretty much the story of how I found out that I was pregnant. It was expected but unexpected, and kind of funny of how clueless I was. Taking a smaller brush and blending that shade a little bit out. Taking a bit more of the blue shade, going to spritz my brush and just basically repeat what I did on my upper lash. Just run that blue here to connect with the deep purple in my inner corners. It's not necessarily my favorite inner corner shade, but I think I'm going to just stick with the palette and use this one and fluff it lightly into my just inner corner tear duct area. It does the job. Is it my favorite? No. Does it do the job? Kinda. No worries, I did not forget my waterline. In my waterline I'm going to pop this gorgeous deep purple shade. It is a Neve Cosmetics pencil liner that I got from Mia last year. And I'm just going to quickly align in here. So that is the final look, you guys. I went really easy on the lips because I think the eyes are already quite a dramatic smoky eye. I pulled out She's Heaven from Pat McGrath, which is one of her Lux Trans lipsticks. It is the perfect rosy brown nude on me, at least, and I really enjoy pairing it with more dramatic looks. Anywho, this was number 10. We are now moving into the Mothership palettes. Next week we're going to be working with the original Divine Rose palette, which he released about a year ago actually, and I am very excited for that because I wasn't super into that palette when it was released, but it has really grown on me in the past 1 year. Anywho, I hope you had fun listening to my little story time. If you have a funny pregnancy related story, then by all means leave it in the comment section below. I think we would all love to read it. Otherwise, you can just leave me a comment about the look or the Dark Star palette and how you feel about it. Either way, thank you so much for watching. I, as usual, enjoyed hanging out with you, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye!